Hi there, thanks for joining us. In this video, we're going to be talking about deportation from Canada. What can lead to deportation and how does the process work? Please stay with us. We'll have much more on this after the break. And as always, remember to hit the subscribe button and to check us out on our website at go.gooselaw.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back. My name is Donovan Francis and I'm a Canadian immigration lawyer, and I help skilled workers who are inside Canada and those who are outside Canada to become Canadian permanent residents without having to deal with all of the complicated legal forms that are part of that process. Now, if you are a permanent resident inside Canada, or if you're a foreign national who is here temporarily, Canada's immigration laws allow for your removal from Canada under certain circumstances. And so we're going to be talking about the different types of situations that can lead to you being issued a removal order. And we're also going to be digging into the different types of removal orders that exist. So firstly, where you have an appeal to remain in Canada as a temporary resident or otherwise, and that appeal is before the Immigration Appeal Division. The Immigration Appeal Division may make a decision that to dismiss your appeal and to issue a removal order. So that's one situation in which a removal order may be issued, where your appeal has been denied at the Immigration Appeal Division. Another situation may be where Canada's border services, you're at the airport or at a border crossing, and you're interacting with Canada's border services agencies, and upon doing an examination, they may determine that you should be issued with a removal order for a variety of reasons. But that's another circumstance in which you may be issued a removal order. A third instance in which one may be issued a removal order from Canada is where you have an appeal before Canada's Refugee Appeal Division, and that appeal has been dismissed. In such a situation, you will be issued a removal order to leave Canada. And so now let's talk a little bit about the different types of removal orders that exist. Now, generally speaking, there are three types of removal orders. Firstly, there's what's called a departure order. And a departure order, in essence, requires you to leave Canada within 30 days. Okay, so you're allowed a maximum 30 days period within which to leave Canada. And upon leaving Canada, there's an expectation that you will advise the border services officers at the airport or the land crossing that you are in fact leaving as you were instructed to do in that departure letter. If you conform to those two requirements, you leave within the 30-day period, or when you're leaving, you report to the border services officer that you're actually leaving, then you would be eligible to return to Canada at some future date, provided, of course, that you're eligible to do so, you have your visa if required, and so on and so forth. So that's a departure order. Now, where you have neglected to leave within that 30-day period, or you have neglected to advise the authorities when you were leaving that you were in fact leaving, then what happens is that initial removal order automatically becomes a deportation order. Now, deportation orders are a whole other beast, and we'll talk about that shortly. But that's what happens. Your removal order automatically becomes a deportation order, which is a more serious issue. The second type of removal order is known as an exclusion order. Now, an exclusion order pretty much excludes you from returning to Canada for at least 1 year, depending on the reasons that led to that exclusion order being issued. Of course, if it's something like misrepresentation, say you made false statements or you withheld some kind of important information at the time you applied for your status in Canada, then you are going to be issued an exclusion order, and you will not be eligible to return to Canada until 5 years have passed. So an exclusion order excludes you from returning to Canada for a period of 1 year, but it could be up to a period of 5 years if you were found to have misrepresented, and if that's the basis for which you've been issued the exclusion order. Now, it's important to note that while an exclusion order excludes you from returning to Canada before a set period of time passes, there is an option for persons who are wanting to return before the designated period ends to apply for something that's called an authorization to return to Canada, or an ARC. Okay, and we'll talk a bit more about an ARC in another video. But that's going to be you, in essence, applying for special authorization to return to Canada, and that's going to be challenging. While not impossible, it's going to be challenging. That's the removal order number 2, which is the exclusion order. The third type of removal order from Canada is the deportation order. Now, this is a much more severe form of removal order, in that it permanently bans you from returning to Canada. And the only way you're able to return to Canada after being issued a deportation order is unless you successfully apply for an authorization to return to Canada, otherwise known as an ARC. And so you want to avoid at all costs being deported from Canada. And in addition, if you're deported from Canada, or you're sent out of Canada based on an exclusion order, if the Canadian Border Services officers had to pay your airfare on your way out of Canada, then you are going to have to reimburse the authorities before you're ever going to be able to return to Canada. So that's going to be important for you to note. And so, having said that, it's important that you know what your options are. If you're issued any one of these removal orders, then you're going to want to get legal representation. Get yourself a good lawyer. If you're a permanent resident, depending on the reasons that you've been issued the removal order, you may have a right to appeal it. If it's for a reason that's based on certain types of serious criminality, it's likely you will not have a right to appeal. And what that means, therefore, is that we would have to provide you with guidance on how to do what's called a judicial review in front of Canada's federal courts. But either way, what you want to do is ensure that you have good legal advice if you've been issued any form of removal order from Canada. So I trust you found value from this, and as always, remember to hit the subscribe button, go ahead and like this video, and don't forget to check us out on our website at go.gooselaw.com.